So sparkling Sophie or sparkling wine?
Yeah, yeah. Is there a good answer on this one? I don't think so.
There is one good answer, my dear. Welcome to the Wine Drinkers podcast, and there are only 2 rules. The first rule is quick answers, and the second rule is I take a sip after each question, and you take a sip after each answer. Okay? Best way to start the morning.
Yeah, exactly. It's early, but it's nice. It's fizzy.
So to kick off, can you take me through how many restaurants you have owned?
Yeah, 10. So I've had 10 restaurants over the years. 2 times, well, there's 9 in London, 1 in Brighton. I used to have, but closed a while ago. And and they're mostly wine-led.
If you could be the owner of any restaurant in the world, which one would it be?
Paul Bocuse in Lyon.
As a little boy, if someone would ask you, what did you dream of? What was your dream? Or what did you see yourself doing when you was going to grow up? What would be your answer?
I wanted to be a pastry chef.
What is something which is always guaranteed to make you laugh?
Watching Alan Partridge.
If you could have some wine with 3 inspirational people of your choice, dead or alive, who would they be?
That would be one for the restaurant world, could be Alan Yao, which is behind Hakkasan Wagamama, to understand his thinking process when it comes to restaurant. Political could be Churchill.
Okay.
To see why he drinks so much. No, I'm kidding. But again, to ask so many questions. And when it comes to management of people, maybe Alex Ferguson would be interesting for me to. And I know he loves his wine as well, just like Churchill.
Perfect. Yes, Churchill did love his wine, huh? Champagne breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. What is your biggest regret?
Not to have written all the tasting notes of all the wines I drank or tasted. And filed them properly, like a lot of journalists do, or even sommeliers sometimes. But because over the years I've been exposed, lucky, to a lot of stuff.
That would be so many, though. I was talking to Tim Atkin last time, and he was saying that he has probably tasted about 250,000 wines in his whole wine career.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot of notes.
Yeah.
White wine and steak, yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, you drink, but this is the thing. You can do whatever you want. You won't be arrested for it. If it's your thing, it's your thing. I mean, if you're allergic to tannins, you're allergic to red wine, some people are, then of course you're going to drink wine with steak. I even had red 2 or 3 days ago with cod or something. But you can do whatever you want.
Okay, that's great to know, because some people are so serious and so strict about it.
Look, at the end of the day, it's fun and wine matching. It's very personal. There's nothing to be serious about. It's your own taste. It's your preference. I mean, if you go, I never understood that. If you go to a place where someone dictates what you should eat, what you should drink, and how you should eat and how you should drink, where's the fun? Where's the fun of going out? You
chose London over Paris. I know you said earlier that you've also had a venture in Brighton, but let's say you chose UK over France. Why?
Because I was professionally brought up here. I've got all my contacts. And I love London. I love Paris to visit. I would never work there. I worked when I was 18 on a stage. Hated every minute of it. So I think that scarred me for life. And I said I would never go back to Paris to work. And when you're used to London, how open London is, cosmopolitan, to the access of wine, it's not like Paris is a downgrade, but it wouldn't bring me more, basically. Definitely wouldn't bring me more.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand. What are the 2 wine countries that, in your view, we need to look out for?
Well, the new country is not really any. I think it's countries like South Africa, which is going through a phase of better quality than ever, cleaner, fresher, this and that. So South Africa could be one. The other one, we all talk about Greece for the whites, Asiatico. This is something I personally love. So yeah, in terms of nothing new, but the country that can reinvent themselves, South Africa and then Greece for a while.
When you received your Michelin star, what was your reaction? How did you celebrate?
No, we did a lock-in with the staff. It could have been, I can't remember if it was a Thursday or something. So we finished the service. We gave every customer a glass of champagne that night. And then all the staff, we all stayed till like 3 in, drinking, talking. We even had a chef from Ducasse who just had this 3 Michelin star at the time. Jocelyn, the head chef there, was living behind the restaurant. And he popped in to congratulate us. So it was nice of him just being awarded the 3rd star that same day, popping in to say hello to a little restaurant just got one. So that was a good time.
Okay, so if you could choose 2 restaurants to go to in London, which are not yours, which one would they be?
I love Noisy, near Charlotte Street, and then the other one I really enjoy is also 10 Brook Street.
Okay, yep.
So it's all kind of wine-led, simple, nice, very honest, good food, honest restaurant, and good wines.
Perfect. Yosef?
Nothing fancy.
What are your thoughts on English wine?
They're getting better, but every year they're getting better and better. And it will continue to be so because of the age of the vine is one thing, because of also the skill, the understanding of everything that's going on. So definitely it's going to get better and better. Sparkling, now in terms of white or red, still white, it's fine. Still red, I think it's still got a bit of a way to go. But again, it will be slowly but surely mastered or understood a bit better.
What do you think when there's a winemaker, is the story of a winemaker and the design of the wine label as important as the wine that you get to taste?
The answer for me is depends on the market you're looking for. I mean, when it comes to us in the restaurant world, we don't really care about labels. And from the customer point of view, they don't care because they don't see it. It's only on the wine list. So it's the name of the wine, doesn't care. He buys it on the price, the style, and so on. For supermarket and wine shop, it's very different. It's very important, yes. When it comes to try to have a look at the label, if it's striking, if it looks slick, if it's modern, so it's like the design of a restaurant, really. So
but what about the story? Don't people always ask in restaurants about the story of wine?
Yeah, the story is much more important, I think, for me, as a maybe old-fashioned or whatever. But yes, knowing where it's coming from, who is behind it, it brings me more to understand the wine inside than the label itself. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for me, liquid is first, story is second, and third is the label. In that order.
It makes sense. I would love to know what book you're reading at the moment.
Yeah, I used to work for Xavier Rousset, who passed away 2 years ago now, almost. And he wrote a book called Tasting Victory.
Yes.
So I'm reading it, his life story and all the competition he's done and so on and so forth. So he was my mentor, a very good friend, and now I'm reading his book.
What are your top 2 movies and what would you pair them with?
Godfather would be one.
Okay.
What would I pair that with? Old Burgundy red, kind of complex, deep and dark.
Smoky,
kind of, yeah, that's with the Godfather. The other movie, Usual Suspect.
Okay, yeah.
Movie.
Yeah.
And that will be something with a lot of layers, again complex, but a lot of layers, and not giving, just like the movie, not giving anything at the beginning. So it's kind of like a Nebbiolo potentially. You know what I mean? A Barolo Barbaresco.
Absolutely. So you just find
you need to go in. It takes you hours to understand the wine, and because at the beginning it's not friendly. I'm not saying the movie is not friendly, but it takes time to really get into it, the wine and the movie. So yeah, Barolo Barbaresco with Usual Suspect.
Fantastic. Your sip?
You do remember well.
I'm keeping an eye on you, Xavier. There's quite a lack of ethnic diversity in the wine world. How do you think we could change that?
Yeah, I think there's a lack of anyone at the minute in our industry, the restaurant, the catering industry. I'm not saying regardless of the ethnic background. So I think we need to make our industry more attractive in general, literally in general, and I think now it's hopefully opening up to more of being a lot more, as you said, open than we used to, and I think London is a great place for that as well. But we need to rethink the way our industry works, and therefore that will change the more open up to ethnic and background and different ethnic backgrounds. But it's a worry for me in our industry as a whole. But there's still a long way to go. But again, I think if you make it attractive, you get more people to join by themselves willingly, as opposed to try to target in a different way. It's just
so through social media.
Yeah, social media, or I think it's also starting early at school. I remember I wanted to join the catering industry when I was 15, 16. And you know, there's maybe more schools in England, or catering schools or wine schools. Try to make it, I know there's a lot of chefs because of the like of Gordon or Jamie Oliver. So there's a lot of chefs coming through, English chefs, coming through the ranks. But we need more, more understanding of what the front of house does, and hopefully will encompass a lot more people.
Okay. You've owned several restaurants, still do. It must be so stressful at times. Have you ever suffered from mental illness at all?
Not. I'm sure I did, without even realizing sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then you go back to a normal, maybe a normal state of mind. But I think by going through what we're going through now, it is more and more challenging. And I was talking to my team, and I include myself in that. Going through the second lockdown currently, or just finished, but it really starts to affect. And you know, sometimes it doesn't show straight away. You realize after a while, it's like, oh, actually, that was a bad run I just had. So I think it's a cycle thing. I've never been down for so long that I realize this. I really need to curate and do something. But you go through ups and downs for sure. You're optimistic, pessimistic. You're depressed. You're happy.
Yeah, I do. I go through up and downs daily. Yeah. I'm like, my mum's like, Sophie. I'm like, I'm happy, and then I'm like, oh, sad. I'm happy.
I think everybody does in a way, but I think now it's more extreme. Let's say it's more extreme than we used to.
No, it's difficult times. Absolutely.
It's not fun. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Your sip?
For sure, it's not fun at the minute.
And so, how do you personally deal with stress?
I drink Oastbrook. At 11 in the morning. I think it's meeting people, talking, and having a relaxing time to counterbalance the stressful part. So, go out to a meal. This is also why through the lockdown you couldn't do that. So you can only be stressed. There's no upside. There's only downside. Because you couldn't mix, you couldn't talk so much or exchange. There's so much Zoom you can do.
Who inspires you the most?
Yeah, another of my ex-boss actually, Raymond Blanc, which is as driven as he ever been at 17.
Wow.
And it just pushes on. It's all about perfection as much as, try to and really stay focused and push, work hard. He's a great guy. He's been a great mentor for me. And yeah, definitely Raymond Blanc.
A lot of people I've been talking to who have achieved massive success in their lives, we're not only talking about money success, billionaires, which I've spoken to, but we're also talking a success in any other aspects of life. They all seem to belong to that early morning club. What about that? Would that be something you relate to? Waking up very early to be able to achieve more in the day, or not really?
Again, it depends on which trade you're in, but yeah, I know. Where's your glass? You didn't sit, by the way. Did you sit?
Oh yeah, it's true. Wow, you.
But no, I think I know a lot of people in some of the different industry that wake up at 6, go for a run, gym at 7 o'clock, 7:30, and then go to work and work hard all day and get focused. And again, really, I think everybody is different.
Yeah. So yeah, for you it varies all the time.
The rule, I don't know if there's a rule. I mean, look, talking about Churchill, I think he was waking up at 10 or 11 in the morning. I think Churchill literally was waking up late, and even his PA next to his bed was taking notes when he was still in bed. I think in our world, I mean, if you finish at midnight or 1 in the morning, it's hard to maybe get up at 6:30 every day and 7 o'clock.
Okay, your sip? In your view, what does someone need to achieve success?
Drive. You need to be driven. You need to be hungry. Hungry about success doesn't mean hungry about just fighting for money, because that comes later. It's not the point. You need to be driven. This is why I often see people who had a lot given to them are not so hungry anymore, and they don't achieve that much. Where, you know, the best entrepreneurs in this world have had nothing pretty much. They made it themselves, and they are really still, you know, to drive. They're still driven.
Absolutely.
It's a key to success.
What have been your biggest challenges in your career?
Managing people. Everybody tells you is by far the hardest. And it's something you still learn every day. How, why, and how to make it work. So I would think, yeah, managing people in general. Customers, I always say, is pretty easy because they're in and they're out. Where you close team, you know, you need to talk to them, you know, motivate them every day, talk and try to grow them within the company and so on. So this is a much more a longer term than just a customer that pops in on a Saturday night for 2 hours meal. It's different. When I was 10 years ago, this was my way or the highway. Now I realize as long as I get to where I want, fine.
That's amazing.
You accept that there's other routes to the way you want to end.
Yeah, that's tough, but yes, true. Yes, you remembered your sip. I think it's the second time you remembered. I'm pouring more wine. Yay! I might.
Yeah, pour little at the time.
Can you give me 2 tips for anyone out there who would like to open their own restaurants?
Yeah, be willing to risk everything. Because if you go half-heartedly in it, it's not going to work. And make sure that you've got enough cash in the bank when you open. You're not on your last penny. Because if you're on your last penny, as soon as the first crisis comes, which there will be one within the first 12 months, regardless what it could be, then you're already in the red. So it's quite tricky. And I've done a mistake myself, so that's why and I was lucky to get out of it through refunding or finding more cash at a short, last minute, short notice. But if you're on your last penny, this is why some restaurants go bust after 6 months, which is not normal in a way. They should have planned to fight the crisis. So yeah, 2 things. What
is the next big thing we can expect from you?
It's a free app for the trade. So it's to help the trade. It's like it's a 360. Really, you can have the news of the trade in that. You can have perks, restaurants, bars, hotel, discount there. You'll have flat share if you want to share a flat with someone from the trade. You can sell your second-hand equipment or buy second-hand equipment. Some wine as well is in there. And it's open to everybody from the trade. So it's only for the trade people, but the trade at a broader level. So suppliers, PR, marketing, barman, chefs, sommelier, waiters, head waiters.
For the hospitality trade. Perfect.
Yes. And the wine is included in that, and the bar is included. The drinks suppliers and the wine suppliers are included, but it's the hospitality thing. So hopefully we kind of, it's a tool you can use to develop. There's some discounts at even the WSET gives you a discount if you're part of the app and so on.
Fantastic. So sparkling Sophie or sparkling wine?
Yeah. Is there a good answer on this one? I don't think so.
There is one good answer, my dear.
So sparkling Sophie is a good answer today, right?
Yes.
There you go. Exactly. That's a good answer.
Oh, I didn't even sip. See, we can sip together.
That's the answer you wanted, so that's a good one.
You sip? Until the end. And because we still have a little bit of vino in our glasses, you're like looking at me like, what is she going to say now? What is she going to say? It's like, yeah, take off your jumper. No, that's not next. What is next is sometimes with my guests, I do a little song or like a little, because we're both French.
Igloo, igloo, that's what I remember at the end.
That we can do igloo, igloo and like finish our glasses. Yeah?
Okay, igloo, igloo then. Yeah.
Okay, igloo, 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 igloo. Perfect.
Right, there you go. See, that was not too painful. I could sing igloo, igloo, igloo.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being
Pleasure.
a part of this podcast today. And I hope that I made your morning a little bit more special.
Yes, well, for sure. Lighter. It's easier. morning.
Yes.
It's a sparkling morning. There you go.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, Sophie. Cheers.
Ciao,
Take care.
ciao. Bye.